today's topics can be kind of interesting, but um, really it comes out of um, working with a lot of business owners and finding that marketing is a key thing that they need to know, and finding a way to really explain um, what the key to marketing success um, is all about. And, you know, found that this was a way that people really got what I was saying even better than other ways I explained it. So, today, many business owners don't really know what their most important job is. So the first thing is to make sure that you're focused on the right things, because if you're not focused on the most important things, then your business isn't going to achieve the maximum level of success. So we're going to talk about what is your most important job, so that you can better focus on it as you're growing your business. Um, you know, Starting a business, there's so many things that you need to know that it's impossible to know them all. So it's a journey. It's a continuous learning journey. So, I appreciate the opportunity to be part of your learning journey. Um, but, many times you may not know what you need to do, how to do it, or why. Um, so, developing your skills, developing your knowledge is key. And, especially on the marketing side, a lot of money is wasted um, for key reasons. So, you got to be really careful and know as much as you can so that you can limit that. Um, so, what we're going to talk about today is really three things. One, the secret on your business, um, which is knowing your most important job as a business owner. The second is the key to selling more and making more. And that's really about, you where I talk about the three reasons to market like a drug dealer. And then finally, overcoming your fear of selling. Sales 101 for small business owners. So we're going to cover those three key things today. And, um, you know, this webinar is really designed for people who are looking to, you know, be able to sell more effectively, be able to run their business more sustainably, and being able to keep it moving forward and growing, or future business owners who are really preparing to go into their business and want to decrease the likelihood of their failure. And this is a cornerstone to developing your business plan. So that's what we're all about today. So, just appreciate everybody introducing themselves, putting their name in the chat, where they're from. Um, I'll take a second to introduce myself. Again, my name is Andrew Frazier. I'm the masterpreneur and founder of Small Business Pro University. And my passion is helping entrepreneurs to make more, sell more, and get financing when they need it. Um, this is a passion that's, business has been a passion that started back in fourth grade when my brother and I started a paper route back in Pittsburgh, and delivered papers 7 days a week for 5 years, as well as expanding into a snow shoveling business and, having different businesses over the year in college, real estate. And then for the past 15 years, I've been coaching, consulting, training entrepreneurs and business owners. And I've worked with over 1,000 business owners one-on-one, and taught tens of thousands of people about business. So, I have a lot of experience that I use in, you know, sharing best practices and sharing useful knowledge to help you be more successful. In addition, my training includes getting a degree in mechanical engineering from MIT, which helps me to be able to analyze information. And analysis is becoming more and more important across your entire business. You have an MBA in finance. You know, financial management is an area where many business owners really don't have a lot of experience and really many times get into trouble as a result. So, and CFA focused on investments and business growth and financing. So, this is kind of my background. Some of the things I've been doing to help entrepreneurs and business owners, advising them. I've written 3 books on business, running your small business like a pro, which I call the handbook, because it outlines key things that every business owner needs to know, and how to do them. Um, I've got the workbook, which is a companion to the handbook, and it really allows you to practice everything that you learn in the handbook, chapter for chapter. And then I've got the Masterpreneur Playbook, which is more strategic in terms of laying out the path for your business success, as well as for um, how you need to evolve as a business owner. Some of you may be joining from a SCORE webinar I did yesterday, where we talked about mastering business growth from startup to scaling. An important piece is the marketing. So, created the university, do a live stream every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. You're welcome to join us. It's on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And created an online community to go with it, as well as being published in many different article, online as well as print. So enough about me. Um, Definitely work with a lot of organizations as well as individuals, helping people to make their business more successful. And also, uh, okay, let's see, helping people increase their sales and close rates. So we're going to use that to talk about, some key things that could be helpful for you in terms of um, growing your business. So the first thing we're going to talk about is your most important job as a business owner. It's chapter 2 in my book, and really is something that every business owner needs to know, and many times they may not. So what is your most important job? So if you can, put in the chat, what do you see as the most important job as a business owner? Or feel free to unmute if you have some input. If you're a business owner, what's the most important thing for you to do? Because if you don't know that, then clarity, bringing visibility to the business, getting brand recognition. Okay, great. Making sales, cool. Knowing your target audience, generating revenue, converting leads to sales, solve problems. Okay, brand recognition. Okay, excellent. Organization, marketing, networking, outlook for the future. Excellent, excellent. Okay, great, great. Keeping consistent, returning customers. Okay. All right. Actually, you guys are better than most. So that's good. All of the above. So a lot of times when I think about it, I call it S&M. Not the bad S&M, but sales and marketing. And all these are key pieces that go into sales and marketing. So so you guys are above average in terms of that, because many times even people who are in business sort of think about focusing on some of the wrong things. But your first and most important job is to sell and market so that you can generate revenue. So given that, let's talk a little bit about sales and marketing. What's the difference between sales and marketing? You just put in the chat or feel free to unmute. What's the difference between sales and marketing? Are they the same thing? Are they different? You know, um, how are they? If so, how are they different? Okay. Oh, sorry. So, so if you're looking at sales, you're looking at marketing. Okay. So sales, you're saying educates, marketing attracts. Okay. Sales is closing deals, marketing is generating exposure. Okay. Um, sales, marketing's education, sale is money. Okay. Marketing is bringing awareness of your product and what it solves. Okay, great responses. Anyone else want to respond in the chat or just unmute and share? Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I think we're in the right direction. A lot of times when I think about sales and marketing, I think about sales more being basically transactional, and marketing being about building a relationship with your customers and potential customers. So, so those are sort of, how they're different from each other. Um, and, you know, definitely how they're defined um, can be looked at different ways. Um, but we'll, take a look at that. So now, when you're looking at sales, um, how would you rate your selling skills on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay. 10 being you're the best salesperson ever. 1 meaning, you've never made a sale and you're afraid to sell. So how would you rate yourself? Okay. 1. All right. A 6, 8.5, 2. Okay. 8, 1. Okay. 7. Okay. So we got a lot of different ways. Okay. How else? Anybody else? How would you rate your sales? 1. Okay. Not afraid, just don't sell yet. And, but definitely I'd say, the ones are probably underestimating themselves because, if you have an ability to communicate, um, and if selling, even if you've sold ideas, if you've influenced people to do something, that's still a sale. It may not be a monetary sale, but you know, definitely everyone has done some level of selling through communication. Okay, 6 to 8% with 92% certainty. So wonder how you figured that out to the level of certainty. But I like your accuracy. So your experience. So one of the things that I see is nobody has put a 10. So everybody has room for improvement, which is great because even the best salespeople in the world continue to work on becoming better. So now that you've rated yourself on selling, how would you rate yourself on marketing from on a scale of 1 to 10? Because they are two different things, and they're important. They're both important, and both of them drive revenue. So it's good to so different 0, 7, 4, 4, 1, 5. Okay, and generally I find that people have familiarity with sales on a certain level, but sometimes some people don't really have a good feel or familiarity with marketing. So it's important to not only develop your marketing skills, but to develop your sales skills. So, the other thing is when you're in business, how often those of you who are in business, how often do you engage in sales and marketing? Um, so, um, is this something you do once a week? Is that something you do every other day, once a month? How much sales and marketing engagement would you say that you do within your business? Okay. 5 customers reaching website, social media. Okay. Um, no more sales and marketing yet. Okay. All right. And okay. All right. 5 to 10 outreaches per day. Okay. Good. Good. Um, and um, so, okay. Social media is your downfall. Okay. Well, um, one thing about marketing is you don't have to do everything. Um, so, you got to figure out what are the most effective things for you to do based on what you're offering and who you're offering it to. And then last question is, do you have a written business plan or sales and marketing strategy for your business? Yes, if you have one. No, if you don't. Okay, great, Aisha. Yes, yes. Okay, so we've got some yeses. Okay, yeses. All right. No. Okay. In progress. Got it. And let's see a few more, because what I find many times is most people um, don't have one, even if they're in business or they're looking to go into business, and that really um, sets you at a disadvantage, especially in terms of sales and marketing, because it's key to plan and develop your strategy and work your strategy and actually do analysis and testing of your strategy. And the more work you do in the beginning, the easier it is. The easier it is going to be for you to market and sell and generate revenue. So, putting in the work up front makes a huge difference. Okay, strategy for sales, not marketing. Developing your marketing plan. Excellent, excellent. Okay, cool. So now, given these things, um, what should you do? Um, Number one, you need to learn as much as possible about sales and marketing, because that's the most valuable thing that you can do to move your business forward. And understanding that, as a business owner, you're no longer what you do, what the business offers. You're really, your role is really sales and marketing. So it's important to understand that and embrace that if you're going to build a successful, growing business that's sustainable and profitable. So definitely learning what you should do is key. What else should you do? Any ideas on what else we should do? Given what we've learned? Okay. One other thing that's key is doing it often. I recommend that people spend at least 2 hours a day on marketing and selling their business. Now, that may seem like a whole bunch of time, but it really isn't, because there's a lot of different sales and marketing activities that you can engage in. But scheduling and planning for at least 2 hours a day, make sure that you're doing it. And the more activity you have and the more time and effort you invest in it, the more successful that you're going to be and the more revenue you're going to generate. So it's key to understand what sales and marketing are. Understand that marketing is about building a relationship with your potential clients, and sales is about offering and providing a solution for your clients. And you know, understanding that is key. Understanding that there's always more to learn, and this is the area, one key area where you should focus your learning and education. And then you have to do it. You have to do it often. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it as well. So, um, so I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about your most important job, why it's important, and how to move forward with that. So now that we've done that, we'll talk about part two. The secret to selling more and making more. So we're going to talk about marketing like a drug dealer. If you're ready to learn a little bit about marketing like a drug dealer, just type ready in the chat, and we'll get ready and kind of share three key reasons that it's that you may want to market like a drug dealer, things that you can do to do it more effectively. I sort of think of it as marketing 101. So let's take a look at these three things. Let's take a look at these things. First, why should you market like a drug dealer? I don't condone being a drug dealer. I've never been a drug dealer, so I'm not saying that it's about being a drug dealer. It's just this is gives a really good example that makes it easier to understand what marketing is all about. So, first off, the first reason is drug dealers don't sell to everyone. And that's a really important concept because you have to focus your efforts. It's very important to focus your efforts. Anybody ever have a drug dealer try and make you buy drugs? Anybody? You probably know some drug dealers, seen some at some point in your life, but did they ever try and make you buy their drugs? If anyone says yes to that, okay. Cheryl, you had yes, okay. All right. Unfortunately, no. Okay. But generally, drug dealers focus on who they're selling to, but also they don't sell drugs, they just offer them and offer them to the people who are most likely to buy them. And I think that is a very important concept because many business owners try to sell to everyone and aren't really clear about who they're trying to sell to. But having clarity, really developing a target market or a niche that's smaller rather than larger is critical when you're starting out and when you're small. So, if you're trying to make people buy your products, then either you're talking to the wrong people, you're not communicating what you have in the right way, or they're not interested. They don't have that need at the time. So, it's important to just really understand that you got to have a niche. Good example of this, I worked with someone who sold jewelry to women that was fitness related and sort of recognized certain milestones in terms of their fitness. So, it's pretty interesting because, she was selling online and, the people who she was targeting, were women of a certain age. Number one, her target was, women of a certain age overall in the US. And that was millions of people. So there's no way she could market to millions of people effectively. So we helped her, focus on, tighter location, more specifics to bring the number down from millions of people down to, several thousand people. That's a lot easier to market to less people. You can market to less people more effectively because you can focus more and message more specifically to them. Um, so, by bringing that size down, you can invest and make better marketing, and you should be taking the um, most likely people to buy from you as who you're going to market to. But one thing that was pretty interesting is when she looked at, who's really buying from her, who's buying her products, it actually ended up being married men or men with a significant other. Because and I see Dave, you shaking your head because it's a nice gift. First, jewelry is always great, but also it's a personalized gift because something specific for you. So sometimes your target market, um, sometimes your target market, you have to work to find who's really most likely to buy from you. But by focusing on that dynamic, that changed her marketing strategy. It changed her messaging and who she went after, but also it created much better results. So, you know, finding that niche is key, and focusing on a smaller group rather than a larger group. And that takes analysis, that takes some trial and error, that takes some research, that takes talking to people. So, when you're developing your plan and strategy, it's an iterative process. You're going to come up with what you think it is. You're going to test it, and you're going to always continue to adjust it because one, you may miss the most likely people to buy from you, but two, the business environment changes, people's needs, wants, and desires change. So, you have to, evolve with that. So, number one, drug dealers don't sell to everyone. So that's the first thing, finding a target market. One other example and one other thing that I like to share is, I did work with someone who made like beautiful handmade dolls, but she would go to sell a lot of places, and it was really hard for her to make any sales. And actually, a lot of times she had to talk to someone for like a half hour before they bought. And that was another example of talking to the wrong people. So, when you're marketing, like a drug dealer, they don't market, they sell. So you should be offering what you have and your solutions to people that are most likely to buy them. So it's not that you're convincing people to buy what you have, it's really you're offering your solution to their potential need. And so, that's a critical piece of success. So, offering what you have, they should be thinking that's exactly what I need. So that's really how you want to think in terms of your target market. So that's reason number one, don't sell to everyone. Reason number two, they don't overpay for marketing. How many drug dealers do you know that have a billboard, TV commercials, radio commercials, flyers, but they still market and sell real effectively? So, it's important to be frugal. In business, it's about making money. And, you got the offense of generating more revenue, but you also have the defense of your expenses. And, so, when you're marketing, you want to be careful about how much you're spending and sort of measure that in terms of, they use ways like customer acquisition costs, how much marketing investment you have to make to get a customer. And then, think about what's a customer worth, how much profit do you make from getting a customer, so that, is is what you're doing working? One thing that a lot of people don't necessarily think about is, when you're spending money on marketing, it needs to be an investment. So you're actually investing that money. So you should expect a return. So when you're spending that money, what do you expect to get back for it? And many times, um, you know, people think that, well, if I sell as much as it costs me, then it was good or it was okay. Or even if I sell a little more than what it costs me. But you have to take into account that, one, you're spending your time, which is worth money. Two, you have a cost of delivering your products and services. So you have to subtract that out as well. So the marketing needs to cover all those things. So when you're making a marketing investment, you should really be thinking about, I need to make 3 or more times um, in sales what I invested in this marketing. So, so it's important when you're looking at that, that you're looking for the right type of return. And that number is going to be bigger if you have a lower margin on what you sell, because your costs are going to be a lot higher for what you're delivering. And then that number might be a little lower, if you're selling services or something that has a really low marginal cost, so that you're able to, at the end of the day, at the bottom line, make money on your investment. So keep that in mind, that it's an investment. You need to be frugal. There's a book called Guerrilla Marketing. It's all about marketing strategies that are low or no cost. And there's a lot of things that you can do that are low or no cost and that are effective. Also, if you're going to pay people to do it, you want to make sure that they're doing it right, that they know what they're doing. There's a lot of people out there who may not have a lot of experience. So you want to be able to know enough to tell who they are. Also, many people out there who are in marketing really don't fully understand what marketing is. And as a result, they're really good at a single marketing tool, but that may or may not be the best tool for you to use given your target market. So, by you doing the work and better understanding your target market and having a strategy, then it's easier to pick the right people to implement it. Because only you can really fully understand your business. So it's important to have that strategy, and make sure you're not paying more than you should, in terms of you're getting a positive return on your investment. Okay, so that's reason number 2. You don't want to overpay for marketing. Reason number 3 is drug dealers make friends. Business and life is all about relationships. So, the first thing you're doing is you're building a relationship. There's 3 things that have to happen before you can make a sale. Anybody have any idea? Maybe put in the chat. One of the 3 things that has to happen before someone's going to be able to buy from you. So, drug dealers are making friends, building relationships, also following up to remain top of mind. Okay, trust, bringing value, need, relationships, trust. Okay, so far out of what we have there, we've got one of the 3. Okay, solution to a want or a need. So there's 3 single words that are what has to happen if someone is going to buy from you. Okay, Solve a problem. Okay, that's not one of the three key words, but that's part of the business. Supply and demand, um, consistency. Let me give you the initials. So one of the words is trust. The initials are K, L, and T. So know, like, and trust. So they have to know you. If they don't know that you're there, they're not going to be able to buy from you. If they don't get to know who you are and what you're about, it's unlikely that they're going to buy from you. Also, they have to like you. You know, how often do you buy stuff from people you don't like? Uh, maybe the electric company, because you probably don't like them, and and some other places, but you don't really have a choice but to buy from them. But if you're going to buy from anyone, anything from anyone, you're going to have to know them, you're going to have to like them, and you're going to have to trust them. So you turn it around. You're a business owner. Your job is to get people to know you, get people to like you, and get people to trust you. And that's what marketing is all about. Um, really developing your plans and strategies on how to get people to know you, get people to like you, and get people to trust you. Because until that happens, people aren't going to be willing to buy from you. Does that make sense? Okay. So, 3 reasons to market like a drug dealer. Um, so, um, any questions on that so far? Everybody's with us? Cool. Okay. And then I want to share a little bit about Sales 101. So, marketing like a drug dealer is really marketing 101. Um, if you know nothing else about marketing, knowing those 3 reasons, you're going to market better than most people. So, it's important to, because most people are out there without a plan or a strategy and just winging it. And if you're going to wing it, you're going to get winging it success. And that's not really what you went into business for. So, these can help you. So now Sales 101, just for basic training on sales. One of the things we want to talk about is sales phobia. A lot of people have a fear of sales. Feel that they might be considered like a used car salesperson, or that person that at the party who you don't want to talk to because they're going to be talking about trying to sell you something. Um, but that's not really what you have to do. And it's not about taking advantage of people. It's really about offering a solution to their need, want, or desire. And the key is finding the people who already have that need, want, and desire. And that is the people you're going to target. So, number one, sales is not a bad word. It's not a bad thing. It's really about solving problems for people, making their life better, making an organization more successful. Um, so it's about offering, and sometimes it's about a partnership. Um, so so that's key. Um, Also, um, you have to ask for a sale. You can't assume someone knows that you're trying to sell them something, or you want to sell them something. You have to ask. Many times that may seem scary, but many people don't really ask for the sale or don't do it effectively. So, if you're going to make a sale, you're going to have to ask for it. And it's not, and something that, you shouldn't be afraid to do, because if you're offering value to someone, you're really helping them out. So all you're doing is asking them to help make their life better. So why would why would you fear it? And so it's important to be passionate and ask for the sale, but also make sure that what you're offering is what they need. So asking for the sale is another key sales piece that it's important to ask, and you're going to get no's, and it's okay to get no's. And the more you get, the better, because you're going to get better at asking, or you're going to get better at asking the right people. So getting a no is fine. Maybe getting a not right now, because you also have to keep in mind that people don't always need what you have at the time you offer it to them. So, so that it's important to, keep that in mind. They're not always going to need what you have when you offer it, but you want to be top of mind when they have what you need, when they need what you have. And the key to that is follow up. It's key to follow up, and follow up. One of the sales rules of thumbs is, you need to have a certain number of touches before someone's going to buy from you. Anybody know what that means, and what that, and how many touches you probably need? So first, okay, 6, okay, 3 touches, okay, yes, emails, calls, and texts. Okay, great. So a touch is when someone interacts with you or your brand. And it could be in different ways, through emails, through calls, through texts, through social media, through networking, through advertising. But it's important to continually follow up. Generally, it's going to take 7 to 12 touches before someone's going to buy from you. So if you only follow up with people 2 times, and then try to reach out to other people, then you're not helping your odds. So it's important to not only plan to have outreach to people, but to plan to have ongoing outreach and connection, and plan to connect with people at least 5 to 7 times about what you're doing. So if you send one email, it's very unlikely that you're going to get much in sales. But as you have follow-ups, then it might hit, your solution might be, they might receive that when they have the need. But so doing your follow-up, plus your follow-up helps people to get you to know you, like you, and trust you better. So part of the follow-up is about that. So most people don't follow up well. So, but as a business owner, follow up is one of the keys to success in sales and marketing. So, really, Sales 101 just talked about a few key things. One, don't be afraid, because it's about solving problems. So you want to offer value to people. Number 2, you got to ask for the sale. It's not going to sell itself. So, you have to be able to be confident that what you're offering is of value, and you're comfortable asking for the sale and communicating what that value is and how it will benefit them. And then finally, you have to do that over and over again. You need to follow up, and follow up. So now if you take this back to what we talked about before, in the first reason to market like a drug dealer, the key was that you wanted to have a smaller target market. Think about it. If you have to follow up with everybody at least 5 to 7 times, that means you don't have the time, money, and resources to follow up with everybody. And it should be less and less people, but the people who are most likely to buy from you. So that's really about talking about what's your most important job as a business owner, Three Reasons to Market Like a Drug Dealer, and Sales 101. So this is more of an introductory to things that every business owner should know about sales and marketing. Of course, there's a whole lot more to learn, but at least if you use these best practices, you're a long way towards being more successful. So, definitely appreciate you hanging out with me today. Um, I invite you, if you're interested, feel free to, schedule a short chat and we can talk a little bit about where you are and where you may want to go in terms of your sales strategies. No cost, but, I make myself available for that. Um, there's some questions you should ask yourself, definitely who's your target market? Really think about, how can I narrow that? How can I make my target smaller? Who's the most likely to buy from me? Not just people who could buy from you or might buy from you, but people who are most likely to buy from you. When you say, this is what we have and this is a solution that'll make your life better, they're like, that's what I've been looking for. Because that's really what sales and marketing should be all about. Looking at your value proposition, testing your value proposition, thinking that through, and even talking to people, customers, potential customers about it. What do they need? What do they think about your solution? And then, how are you going to attract, nurture, and convert your leads? That's part of your marketing plan and marketing strategy. So, these are a few questions and key things that you want to be thinking about intent and to be able to market more effectively. And any questions on what we covered? It was pretty broad and not super deep, but there's, a whole lot to what we talked about. Really just sort of simplified it into, key things that's helpful for you. You know, Definitely it's okay to, people in the chat, if you want to continue to chat, you're welcome to put information there. I guess I can share the chat unless someone has an issue with that. Let me know if you have an issue with that, but I don't have a problem sharing the chat for networking purposes. So any questions? Okay, what's the title of my book? So my first book is called Running Your Small Business Like a Pro, which is here. That's on Amazon, actually on Audible as well. You've got the Masterpreneur Playbook, which is also on Amazon, not on Audible yet. And then the workbook is not on Amazon yet, but you can get all of those from my website as well. And if you get them from my website, I'll sign them and send them to you as well. And no, free shipping. So definitely, you learn a lot more about this. I have a whole chapter on marketing, and marketing like a drug dealer is just one piece of that chapter. More detail and examples I gave. And one other thing that I incorporate is, I incorporate and use is the I guess what I call the 60-second commercial format. And it's really a way to communicate more effectively what you have to offer in a way to do it in a clear, concise way and save time in terms of figuring out who's a lead and a potential customer from who is not. So I'm actually do a webinar on that, probably coming up. So look out for that. It's called, I think it's called, it's called Customer Centric Communications. So definitely welcome to, you may want to check that out. when we do that. And I mentioned I created Small Business Pro University. Here's just a little bit about what we offer and what we do. And many small businesses experience low or no revenue growth, and the owners are not making enough money. I founded the Small Business Pro University to help business owners break that cycle by empowering them with greater knowledge and enhanced skills to lead their companies more effectively. Over the past 15 years, I've worked one-on-one with more than 1,000 business owners and taught tens of thousands of people about business. My experience includes serving as a Navy officer, graduating from MIT, earning an MBA from NYU, and achieving the CFA designation. Small Business Pro University empowers entrepreneurs like you to run their businesses more professionally and create sustainable enterprises. Small Business Pro University provides access to valuable resources, partnerships, and relationships that will help you to grow revenue, increase profit, and obtain financing faster and easier. Our Masterpreneur initiatives include more than 100 expert-led multimedia courses and training programs with more than 2,500 lessons. The Small Business Pro Network, our private community for entrepreneurs. Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business, our weekly live stream and podcast. Advanced Learning Institutes, focused on revenue generation, profit maximization, and capital acquisition. And the Power Breakfast series, in-person events where business owners learn best practices, enjoy great networking, and gain useful knowledge. If you want to sell more and make more, you need to check out Small Business Pro University. Visit our website at www.sbprou.com. Many small. So that should give you a feel for sort of what we do. And I invite you to check out and benefit from other programs and activities that we offer. Definitely, you're welcome to take me up on the offer to meet up and via Zoom. And I guess, Chris, if you could put that in the chat. Okay, actually, I think you got it in chat, which is cool. And, you know, definitely if there's additional questions, I can hang out. But, you know, the official part of the webinar, you know, is covered, so that, you know, wanted to, you know, make sure that we at least finished up, you know, all the key things before 3 o'clock. But you're welcome to stay and ask questions and chat. And I think there's probably a couple things, you know, I think, let's see. Okay, do we get a certificate for completing courses? So in the university, you do get a certificate. Just for a single webinar, we don't do certificates, but definitely our university courses, we do give certificates. Our courses are actually mini courses, so generally they only take like an hour to 2 hours to complete. And actually I have one on marketing like a drug dealer, which actually has even more details about each of the three reasons, and, you know, how to implement them more effectively. Let's see. Okay, what's the best way to engage customers? So that's from Martha Remy. You know, at the end of the day, every business is different. So as a result, how you're going to engage customers is different. And that's really what doing your marketing analysis is all about. Figuring out, you know, what problem you solve and for who. And then figuring out, well, what's the right message to communicate? You know, where and how should I communicate that message to them? You know, so, you know, for example, you know, my business is, you know, when I'm working, coaching, consulting, and training, you know, it's about relationships. So generally, people aren't going to hire you to be coach or your consulting if they've never met you. So part of the outreach for that type of business has to be some sort of personal connection live.
Levi.
So, so definitely, you know, however, you know, if I'm a product business, you know, people may not need to know you or who you are. They need to know your product. So maybe that you might be able to sell on Etsy, Instagram, Amazon. So it's really about thinking through, you know, the type of business you have, what you're offering, and who you're offering it to, and really zeroing in on, you know, what's the best way to do it for your specific target market. And even if you have the same business as someone else, that doesn't mean your marketing strategy should be the same as someone else. Everybody has different personal strengths and business strengths and relationships. And, you know, you want to go with the people who are most likely to buy from you. So if you already have a relationship, they're further down the road to potentially buying from you than if you don't have a relationship yet. So, so you know, it's important to go to your strengths and you know, develop a custom marketing approach for your business. And that's why, you know, someone else can't do your whole marketing strategy without you being involved. You know, you have to be involved because you're going to need to implement it, and plus you know more about a lot of things that they don't know. So so cool, but that's a great question because it's important to just understand that, you know, there's the best strategies are based on you know, your situation. So definitely, if you want to schedule some time, we can chat a little bit more about what your specific situation is. So let's see. Question about nonprofit businesses. So Cheryl, you know, I always say nonprofits are businesses too, and actually many times it's harder to run a nonprofit business than a for-profit business. So you know, definitely, you know, I have a similar approach with nonprofits. There are some differences, but you know, overall, nonprofits are a business just like any other business. So, Cheryl, you want to unmute and share your question, or you're welcome to, you know, type it in the chat, and be glad to answer your question.
Are you talking to me? Were you talking to me?
Well, Cheryl said she has a question about nonprofits.
Okay, I'm sorry. Cheryl, someone else.
But if you have a question, Cindy, you're welcome to ask.
Okay. 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 Yeah, I'm wondering if you could speak to, and I wanted to ask this while the group was here because it might benefit everybody. So where you were talking about each of us as business owners narrowing down our target market, get very specific. The smaller, the better. It's easier to connect with a smaller piece. And so that is something that we do sort of on our end because we know what we're offering. So for example, just for an example, I have a course that I'm wanting to reach anyone who's starting Algebra 1. So it might be some 8th graders and some 9th graders going into the school year with Algebra 1 and probably very scared, right? So I can narrow it down to those because a lot of people would benefit from the course. But if I just focus in, I get to that. So then my question is, do you have some tips on now that I've narrowed it down, where do I find them? Is there sort of a, you know, 3, you know, places where, okay, here's a good place to go? Like, for example, Facebook. Do Facebook ads still work? And would that be a way to narrow those particular that particular target down. But are there some other tips where we can actually take our what we have decided? Where do we go find them now?
Okay. So before we do that, I would say your target market is still too large.
Okay.
Okay. Because how many eighth and ninth graders are there in the world? A whole lot, right?
Very a lot. Yeah.
Okay. How many are in the United States? A whole lot.
Yeah. Okay. We're in the United States. I can
Okay.
get
How
to
many
that.
in your state?
In my state,
Okay.
yeah, still probably
You
quite a few.
know, in your
Okay.
area. Also, there's probably an income requirement. Not everybody can afford a class.
Okay.
Okay. And then there's people who are more likely to buy a class than others. So there's a lot of ways you can narrow it that much tighter.
Okay.
And then you can say, you know, or you could say, if you focus on people who failed algebra, you can have a message specifically, if you failed algebra, you don't have to worry because my class will guarantee that you're going to pass algebra this time. That's a different target. That could be a target market. Your target
Yeah.
market could be overachievers that haven't taken algebra yet. But if you're going to take algebra, if you take my algebra, you're going to get an A in algebra.
Yes.
So narrowing it down like that, if you talk to 10 people who specifically that's their need, want, and desire,
Yeah.
you'll probably make more sales than if you just talk to 1,000 people who are just in 10th or 11th grade.
Right.
So, but it's the work on the analysis side, bring it small enough so that you can really have a encompassing message to the right people. And
Okay.
and then, maybe you're reaching out to them, you can have social media and other stuff, but where are they? You probably got the person who's buying it's probably their mother. So you're not really
Right.
selling to the kids, you're selling to their moms. And
Okay.
where do moms like that gather? Do they hang out at the YMCA? Would it be like church? And really focusing on the best people to buy from. And do I have relationships? Am I a teacher? Maybe, are you a teacher? Maybe, you have relationships around. So there's a lot of ways you can take it, but you got to focus it as much as possible to get the results that you want to have.
Okay. Thank you. I see. So by really looking at all the angles on getting it tighter, it
Yes.
clarifies where you're going to find these people.
Yep.
It just makes it clearer. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. No problem. Okay. Let's see. Um, um, do we get access to the recording? Yeah, I'll send everybody out a follow-up email with the recording. So you're welcome to check that out. Do I have a course on nonprofits business marketing? Not specifically nonprofits business marketing, but like I said before, pretty much a nonprofit is the same as a business in terms of most business practices. You're gonna market and sell. Maybe you're gonna market for a grant, but you still got to do the same thing. You got to target who you're going to market to for that grant. You're going to figure out your solution that you're providing to that grant, your value proposition. There may be more specific things about creating, putting together a grant proposal that I don't really have. But overall, a lot of the marketing for a nonprofit is going to be the same as for a for-profit. So cool. Let's see what other questions. Okay, I need to leave webinar. Actually, last week I did a webinar on accessing capital. So we do, I think we have a series, so every month or so we repeat the topics, I think every 2 months or whatever. But also have online mini courses on financing, crowdfunding, not as specific on crowdfunding, but definitely on investors and getting loans. So that could be helpful for you. Let's see, you have a crowdfunding webinar. Okay. Any other questions? I think I covered mostly everybody's questions. All right, great. Well, definitely thanks again. Okay. Oh, Cheryl, what are your thoughts about the SBA? Well, I mean, I think the SBA is amazing because I think that many small businesses wouldn't ever get financing if it wasn't for the SBA. The SBA doesn't give loans or doesn't usually give loans, but what they do is guarantee your loan. And by guaranteeing your loan, that reduces the risk to a point where banks may be willing to lend to you when they otherwise wouldn't. So, if the SBA didn't do that, a lot of businesses would not get access to capital. It's still not super easy to get access to capital, and you have to be prepared. But that's the key thing about the SBA is they help create opportunities for small businesses to get financing when they otherwise wouldn't have been able to. One other thing they're good at is they do help people with government contracting. So if you're looking at doing government contracting, I think they have a certification program or whatever. SBA is a good place to look into as far as that as well. So thanks for your question there, Cheryl. Anyone else? Okay. Okay, no certification for this, or certificate, but for the for the courses on the university, we do have make those available. Bianca, definitely look forward to meeting you one-on-one. So feel free to use the link there, and look forward to that. And thanks, Alexis. Definitely proud to have served in the military and represented the country. So I think that's and plus it was some of my greatest experiences in life were in the military. I have lifelong friends that I'm still close to, having been out of the military over 20 years. So even though I don't look that old, hopefully
you don't. That's a great thing. That's a good thing. Beautiful thing.
So so definitely thank you everybody for joining in. Hopefully you took away something that that can help you with your business. My mission with Small Business Pro University is to help 1,000,008 business owners sell more and make more or get financing faster and easier. So, this is part of my mission, is to share knowledge. And even, based on this, hopefully you'll be able to sell more than you would have otherwise and make more than you would have otherwise. And that's really what Small Business Pro University is all about. Excellent. Okay. So if there's no other questions, I'll close it out, and we'll do a follow-up email with the recording and some other useful information. And definitely you're welcome to join our live streams every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. We always have great guests. I've been doing it for over 4 years, every week. You know, we have some free courses on the university as well as paid courses. You know, we have a membership program, and you know, definitely if you like this and you want to learn more, check us out. Okay. All right. So yeah, so in the link in the follow-up emails, we'll send you know, April in response. We'll send links to and information about a lot of other offerings that can be helpful. So definitely look out for that. You know, probably send a quick one today, and as we pull more information together, we'll probably send something out to you in the next couple days as well. Okay. All right, so I think that's everything. Thanks, and I will catch you next time, hopefully.